Growing up on the West Side. When Marvin Camper died, it was June of 2013. I lived in Los Angeles then, and I found out the day after he died while scrolling on Facebook. I saw the comments about him, and they sent me down memory lane. I thought about my life and how I grew up on the west side of Long Beach, California. It was a remarkable time. We played games together like freeze tag, hide go get it, and Red Rover. We had relay races and played kickball in the street on Taper. I had slumber parties at my house about every other week on Friday nights. I lived on Cameron around the corner, but my grandparents lived on Taper. The neighborhood kids bagged on each other. Nothing and no one was off limits. Your mama so skinny she could hula hoop in a Fruit Loop. Your daddy so broke he can't pay attention. Your brother head so big he fall over when he tie his shoes. But it was all good. The harder the insult, the more love you had. The campers had that dog that got out of their gate and chased us through the neighborhood. J&J Market was the corner store, and none of us understood why it was closed on Wednesdays. Everybody's mama shopped at Alpha Beta. We sat cross-legged on Tara's porch with our tight jeans and collar shirts with alligator tags. The girls wore Sassoon, Jordache, and Gloria Vanderbilt jeans with jellies shoes. Tara had all the colors. The boys wore Levi's and members-only jackets. We caused havoc in the streets. We ran across my grandfather's perfect grass, even though we knew he didn't like it. Tara's mother, Carrie, had that lemon tree we shook. Mrs. Green had those pink roses we took. Seti and the boys chased the girls home from John Muir Elementary School every day. We ran fast as we could, still hoping they would catch us. There was also the Springdale crew, my cousin Merle and his boys. They went to Webster Elementary, and sometimes there were fights between the two schools. After the fights, we went to the store and bought pickles that we mixed with Fritos. One day, when Tara and I were walking home from school, Melvin pulled a real gun on us. We were all only in the 4th grade. He told us to freeze and hold our hands high, like in the movies. Tara didn't hold her hands up. She yelled and told him no. I was afraid. My hands went up quickly. Silverado Park was the neighborhood mecca. It was middle ground between John Muir and Webster schools. There we were Pop Warner babies. The boys were little footballers and the girls were cheerleaders who shook our baby booties in green and gold skirts. During cheer practice, the girls would yell as signal to the men who were shooting dice on the wall the police were coming through. Kissing contests were by the bleachers. We went swimming there and had free lunches in the summer. We were the meaning of neighborhood. Tara and Marvin used to go together. Everett and I held hands once in the 6th grade. He gave me a necklace he took from his mother. In high school, Jerome got shot in a drive-by outside of Poly High and left us too soon. Nipa turned backflips and tried to teach us how. Lolo's dad, Donald James, and my dad were best friends. I hung with Sonia, Monique, and Tara, and everybody better speak to Mrs. Jones sitting on her porch before she tell. The high schools were Poly, Milliken, and Wilson. The junior high schools were Bancroft, Hughes, Stevens, and Hoover. And those Hoover girls could really play basketball. We didn't all go to school together, but we all hung on the block. We were our own reality show. My mother took the neighborhood girls to drive-in movies. We played tetherball in my backyard. My father built the best backyard tree houses. Carrie cooked those special breakfasts on Saturdays, and we were packed in the living room with our paper plates, loaded with love. We're grown up now, with children and grandchildren of our own. So much has changed, and so much is still the same. My mother is still there, my sister, my brother-in-law too. Tara's parents, Carrie and Jerry, passed away. So did Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Williams, and Mrs. Green too. Nipa, Tara, and I moved away. Many of us did. Melvin passed away. Randy Collins died in the Gulf War. Taper Street will always have special memories. We don't see each other often, but we reconnected that day in June of 2013 in the comment section of Marvin Camper's Facebook page. We perused pictures of him with his family, his wife, mother, brothers, children. We took a moment that day in our separate homes to remember Marvin and celebrate his and our lives and remember growing up on the West Side.